If you want to jump ahead 1:51 time mark for the start of the work, the video will end at 6:35 and there's a bonus feature at 6:39 on how to get your wiring harness from the bumper.
Hi, welcome to John's Jeep Garage. This video is about removing the OEM plastic bumper on your Jeep Gladiator JT or your Jeep Wrangler JL. Now, the specific vehicle that we're working on in this video is the Rubicon model. And the reason I'm highlighting that is because with the Rubicon, there's a metal skid plate. And that metal skid plate protects the electronic sway bar disconnect. Now, on your other Jeep Wrangler JLs and your other Jeep Gladiators that are non-Rubicon, there's a plastic air dam, and they're a little bit different, but there's a plastic air dam underneath. I say air dam because that's what it is, though you may hear people talk about a skid plate, and it's not a skid plate because it's plastic. But those have a little bit of similarity in how you remove it. They have retaining clips, as well as they have, on one of them, 2 screws that need to be removed. Now, on the top of your bumper, there is a air dam or an upper air dam, and that's a piece of plastic that bridges the gap between the bumper and the front grille. And so those will have retaining clips. We'll show you how to remove that, and those are also very similar across all the vehicles. So thank you for watching. Hopefully you learned something, and please make comments and ask us any questions, and we love to learn as well. Thank you.
Okay, for this Rubicon model, we have a metal skid plate underneath, and you will see that it has 2 bolts in the front and 2 in the rear side, which is 13 millimeters. Let's go ahead and remove those. Leave a bolt so it's not removed all the way, so you can hand loosen it so you can support the skid plate so it doesn't drop on yourself or anyone else. Okay, we got to remove the upper air dam, that piece of plastic, and you're going to have 2 going into the frame, 2 retaining clips that you need to remove, and then on the bumper side you have 6 retaining clips going into the back of that bumper that you're going to have to remove. And you can use a retaining clip removal tool, or you can use a flathead screwdriver, and we'll show you how to use that. So basically there's 2 parts. There's the inner piece that you just need to raise and lift, and then you can remove the base right after that, and it just pops right out. And you can do the same for the side, which is a little smaller, but same principle. Remove the center, and then the base comes right out. Just to give you perspective on that one that's attached to the bumper and the angle that you're approaching it, I'm just going to show you this video and I'll speed through it. Okay, so we're just removing the 6 that go into the back side of the bumper and the 2 that are facing down, and then you just remove that piece and set it off to the side, and you can keep those clips if they're in good condition and use them for another time. Okay, now the way this is set up, you have one main feed, one main connection going into the bumper, and it's off of the passenger side support, the frame support, and then what I do is just remove the retaining clip that's holding it to the frame so I can have a little bit more room to maneuver, and then just that clip that you press down to separate it, I use a flathead screwdriver to help me do that, and then once you disconnect that, I go ahead and put the retaining clip back into the frame, but you've now separated the connection to your bumper, so that won't be there when trying to remove it. Okay, let's just go underneath. We're on the passenger side, and the bumper, it's pretty simple. There's 18 millimeter bolts, 2 on one side and 2 on the other on what you would call the saddle part of the frame going into the bumper. That's on the passenger side. Same thing on the driver's side, 2 18 millimeter bolts on the left and 2 on the right from the saddle going into the bumper. Now we're just going to remove them. So based on distance and space that you have. You may need extensions. I just use a hand ratchet. So you're going to remove the 8 nuts holding it. It's just a post coming through, and once you remove all 8, then we will remove it. Okay, remember the posts have threads on them so they could stick a little bit, but try to lift evenly and pull out on both sides. And it's not too heavy, but just be careful and don't hurt your back. Okay, so we're really done. Now this gives you a better look at just the 2 saddles coming out from the frame to show you where the 4 bolts on each side went, and here's the bumper. Now there's a bonus feature here you need to see, because we're going to show you how to get the wiring harness from this bumper.
All right, that's a wrap. Now, we're not going to show you how to install an aftermarket bumper because there are so many different options. But at the end of this video, we have a little bonus feature just to show you what we did to wire and keep the same harness for your fog lights. This may or may not help, but we just wanted to show you that on the aftermarket bumper that we chose to use. All right, thank you for watching, and I hope this video helped. If it did, please like and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.
Welcome to the bonus feature. We wanted to keep the wire harness for the fog lights, so we needed to remove them from the OEM bumper. Let's show you how we do it. First, on each end, remove the retaining clips holding on that plastic skin. Once removed, just lift and put to the side. The fog light is connected by this plastic housing, so first let's disconnect the main connection to the fog light. You just press down on that tab, as you can see right here, and just pull out. Next, what we're going to do is there's 4 7mm screws. You'll need a 7mm socket to remove all 4 screws. Once you remove all 4 screws, just lift and move it out of position. You could use this for your aftermarket bumper. I keep everything, and just depends on what you're going to put in its place. Okay, so now we're going to remove this inside back plate on this front bumper, and there's 8 nuts that are 13mm that we're going to need to use to remove it. Now, I suggest strongly using a deep socket for the 13mm because you want to go over the threaded stud. Okay, once you remove those 8 nuts, next there's the wiring harness on both ends has a couple spots where you just need to remove those retaining clips so they can be free of the plate. Once you've made those free and kind of move the wires out of the way, we're going to lift the whole backing plate out of the encasing of the front bumper. Okay, we're going to lift the steel backing plate out of the way, and now we're dealing with a plastic skin that we need to remove with 7mm socket and a bunch of screws that just go all along the inside as well as on the edges. And I'll slow down here just to show you where they are on the edge and give you a close-up view of this as well. You can see. Remember, the purpose of all of this is trying to get the wiring harness, which is really attached to the back side of this plastic piece. So now let's go ahead and remove those tow hooks, which just kind of slide out, and then we're going to go ahead and lift this plastic piece out. And then if you notice on the other side of it, this harness is connected by retaining clips all along the back side of this plastic skin or insert. Let's just remove it. Be careful to protect the wires as you're removing it, and then once it's removed, we'll have the harness in hand. Your harness is now removed, and if needed, can be used on your new aftermarket bumper. Thank you for watching.